Okay, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be learning about working with household members, employers, and spouses. So let's take a look at working with households first. Basically, household is a term that we use in Sycamore where we can link the main client together with their family members. Basically, you can put other people in there as well, but it's generally meant for family members. So for example, I'm going to first come in and I'm going to create my client. Now your client could come in from a lead source system or, be imported in some way, but if you're creating them manually, you basically need to create the client and then create the household, and then you link them together, okay? So I'm going to create the client first. So I'm going to go to Accounts, and I'm going to click New, and this would be a person account. And then I'm going to type in my information here. Now generally I can type in phone number and mailing address and all that information, but when you are going to work with a household, you can put the address into the household and then copy it over. Okay, so there's no need to put in that individual information, but you basically would just go in here and link all the general information that you link, your birthday and all of that. And then I'm going to click Save. Then I'm going to go to Accounts again, and I'm going to click New. And this time I'm going to click and select Households. And the name of the household, you can see here it says account name instead of first name, last name. So it's a little bit different. And you're going to name it by the person's last name. And if that's sufficient, you can just say McTest Household. Or if it's a common name, then I generally will tell people to put the person's main client's first name there as well. And then you usually do something where you include the word household. Okay, and then this is where you would put in the address. This is the address that is going to copy over, the one that's in the primary fields. Okay. And then the phone number as well. Okay, and I'm going to click Save. So now I have my client and I have my household. You can do, whichever one you do first is up to you. So now I'm going to go back to my main client. And then I'm going to link the main client to that household by just putting it in this household field. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to go to Lookup. And there's the household that I just created. And I want to copy over the address so I can see that there's no mailing address. So I'm going to turn this checkbox on, and then I'm going to save. Okay, and that copied over the phone number and the mailing address. This information will automatically update if I get a change of address or a change of phone number. I would go back to the household. I would make that change in the household, and then every night the information is updated. Okay, so it doesn't update right away unless you were to go in and edit the main client record. Do an edit, click Save, then it would update. But it won't update unless that record is edited and saved. So in the evening, there is a trigger that runs that will update all of that information so that it's automatic. So now I would have all of my family members. So let me see if I have any other records in here. Okay, so here I have a Danielle, so I'm going to go to Danielle. And this is, let's say, his daughter, so I'm going to go in here and link her to the household. copy. Let's see if she has an address. So now she does have an address, so it is going to overwrite that if you say copy. Okay, so it does overwrite the address if it is there, if you tell it to copy that address. Okay, and if you leave that button on every night, it's going to copy that address from the household. So if you only want it there one time and then you want to disconnect that link, then you would turn this checkbox off. So turning the checkbox off will leave the information there, but it won't update every night. So it depends on how you want things to work within your system. So then you could add other children, grandchildren, whomever else you want, and you go into that record, you go to household, and you link the household. Now when I go to the household, the benefit of this is I can just go to the household, and up here I have a household member related list, and there's everybody in my household. Okay? Now if we have a spouse, what we would want to do, we have two choices with a spouse. So here's the husband. And if I scroll down the bottom of the screen, I have a whole spouse section. When you deal with the spouse, you have a choice where you can have the spouse as a separate account, or you can put the couple together in one account. And that's basically a decision that you want to make as a firm, and everybody would do it the same way, okay? And then you can get rid of the field that you're not going to use. So let's say that we want the spouse to have a separate account. The one benefit of having a separate account is that if you are linked with Albridge or another financial service, it will pull in the spouse's information separately. So on her account, you would see her financial information linked by her Social Security number, and then the husband's financial information. If not, it's only going to pull in the husband's financial information. Okay, so that's one benefit of having them together. So what I would do is again go to Accounts, click New, Person Account, and then I would add the spouse. Okay. Now when I'm adding the spouse, now that I know that my household exists, then I'm just going to link her to that household. And say copy. And of course I put her Social Security number in, her advisor, her birthday, all of her other information. And now she's linked to the household. So if I go to Daniel's household, there she is. Okay. Now I'm on Daniel. Then I'm going to go to Daniel's record. Okay. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. Now just because she's in the household doesn't show her up here. Okay. It's this little bit separate link when it comes to the wife. So I'm going to link the wife here. Okay. I'm going to say copy her information, which actually I didn't really type much in there. And this will copy all of these fields, if I had filled them in, from her spouse account when I click Save. Okay? And then those two will be updated every night when the trigger runs. Okay? So if you're doing it this way, you wouldn't want to type these in individually because they'd be overwritten every night. Okay? So the only time you'll type them in individually is if you choose to not go the route of having the separate record. Then you would come to this field and you would just type her name in. And then you would go to each individual field and type that information in. And then this button would be off. The other link that we want to show you is the employer link. So down here we have the same type of thing. We have an employment information. Now this can work for this particular person. If you have a lot of clients that work for the same company, you can link them all together. Or if you just have a company that is not necessarily your client, you just another brokerage firm or something like that, you can track that company and all the people that work for it. So just like we did with the household, we want to first add an account for the company. And this would be a business account. The company itself would be a business account. and then we would put in the name of the company and all of their information. Okay, and click Save. So then I would go back to Daniel. I would go down to Employer, and there we have a lookup, find the company, turn on our copy, and save. Okay, and that copies over the information. We do also have a field that we could add that's just the employer text. If you don't want to have them as a separate account, you could just type in the company name. But the benefit of doing it this way is that if I now go to GE Company, and I go to employees, I see everyone who works there. Okay, so now if I want to add someone else to GE, I can just go to any other record, link them to that employee, company, the employer, copy, and save. And when I go to GE, my Joe client will be added as an employee. And that is the proper way to link households, employers, and spouses. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to open up the mic.